In the heart of medieval Europe, land was more than a place to live or farm, it was the ultimate source of wealth, status, and power. Today, we'll uncover how property mongering shaped kingdoms, fueled rivalries, and laid the foundations for the real estate practices we still see echoes of today. Between the 12th and 15th centuries, Europe's social and economic fabric revolved around land ownership. Under feudalism, monarchs granted vast estates to loyal nobles in exchange for military service. These nobles, in turn, leased portions to knights and peasants. But behind the idealized image of lords and manors was a less romantic truth. Many elites were not simply stewards of the land, but aggressive accumulators, always seeking to expand their holdings at the expense of rivals. Medieval property mongering often meant exploiting legal loopholes, purchasing debt-ridden estates at bargain prices, or marrying into land-rich families. Wealthy abbots and bishops joined in, amassing enormous church lands that could rival the holdings of kings. This land hunger wasn't about cultivating every acre. Much of it was kept idle, its value growing as nearby towns expanded and agricultural productivity rose. In many cases, powerful landlords blocked commoners from accessing forests, meadows, and waterways that had been used for generations, forcing them into paid labor or rent agreements. By the later Middle Ages, Europe's growing cities opened new opportunities. In commercial hubs like Florence, Bruges, and London, wealthy merchants bought up urban plots not to build homes, but to rent to guilds, traders, and craftsmen. Property mongering became an urban game, with speculators controlling prime market locations and warehouse spaces. Some even manipulated municipal politics to pass laws that favored their holdings or restricted competitors. Land accumulation wasn't just about money, it was political leverage. More land meant more vassals, more rents, and more soldiers to call upon in times of conflict. Lords who controlled strategic territories could bargain with kings, resist royal taxes, or even threaten rebellion. The most ambitious used property acquisition as a weapon, slowly encircling rivals' territories until they were forced to sell or surrender. The medieval church was Europe's single largest landowner, and many bishops acted like shrewd real estate moguls. Through donations, wills, and outright purchases, monasteries and dioceses accumulated estates across regions. This made the church a powerful political player, but also a target for reformers and critics, who accused it of hoarding wealth instead of aiding the poor. In some areas, resentment over church property mongering would simmer for centuries, eventually fueling movements like the Reformation. For peasants and townsfolk, property mongering often meant rising rents, shrinking access to common lands, and fewer chances to buy their own plots. In extreme cases, entire villages were cleared to make way for more profitable sheep pastures, especially in parts of England and Scotland. These displacements forced many into urban centres, where they became wage labourers, laying the groundwork for Europe's future shift toward a cash economy. By the end of the medieval period, property mongering had helped create vast concentrations of wealth and power in the hands of a few, a pattern that would repeat in later centuries with colonial land grabs, industrial speculation, and modern real estate markets. While the rules of ownership have changed, the motivations, profit, power, and prestige, remain strikingly familiar. This was the world of property mongering in medieval Europe, where land was both a prize and a weapon. If you found this history fascinating,